healthy for the playoffs. How much will this rest help him?
Well, this is really not a rest, Skip, because he's rehabbing. This is different than the bubble. Because LeBron going into the bubble, he was not injured. You got to realize they got off from basically the middle of February, beginning of March, all the way to June. So that was
like 4 months.
Like 4 months. So that was considered a rest. He had no injury. Now this is a totally different situation. I can see, Skip, if he was going to take next 3 games off, they were first to second seed, and he was just like getting his body ready. Nah. He needs to be on the court getting timing together with AD and Drummond, getting timing together with Ben McLemore. So this is a very different situation than what we're used to seeing. There's a reason why, Skip, teams are not resting guys now. Guys are having to play, even though, yeah, there's some guys that need to rest. James Harden is not resting. James Harden is rehabbing a hamstring issue. Yeah. Kevin Durant was rehabbing a hamstring. They weren't resting. So, Skip, I just believe this is a very different situation than what we saw last year, where guys had a 4-month layoff and got a lot of rest. Guys were able to come back 100% healthy and go right at it. This is not the same situation. So, for me, I look at it as LeBron is missing crucial time getting chemistry. AD's been gone. AD went out a month before LeBron got injured. So they really only played a couple of games, and now they're out again. He's only played 2 games with Drummond. So those are going to be the big starters having to try to figure this out in a game, which is very, very tough. So for me, serious injury. We know high ankle sprains. Michael Thomas missed a significant amount of time, and he wasn't the same when he came back. And Christian McCaffrey missed the better part of the last half of the season with an ankle injury. So LeBron isn't going to be close to 100%, but you got to make the best of the situation that you're in.
Okay. So I do agree with your first point. Last year, LeBron James got the greatest break of his career, and it was because of a pandemic.
Right.
You saw that coming. And so for 4 months, not only he, but the whole league was forced to stop.
So that, yep.
And it helped him because wear and tear, it just let him refresh and revitalize and get ready for a bubble experience that was going to be psychologically tough on everybody all the same. Because nobody had had any reps up to that point. Nobody had played any games or been able to really practice together because it was against the rules. So they all wind up and played, how many games?
I think it was
8 games.
8 games
to the playoffs. So you barely had time to figure out each other, but nobody else had any time either.
Correct.
So everybody was in that same boat, down in that same town, stuck in those same hotels. Day after night after day after night. So in the end, a bunch of teams didn't want to be stuck in that bubble. I'll never forget the famous Jared Dudley quote, "Them boys didn't want to be in that bubble," talking about the Clippers, because I don't think they wanted to be there. And it manifested itself in games 5, 6, and 7 when mentally, psychologically, they were not there. They sort of quit on Doc. They sort of went to battle with Doc. It was a wreck and a mess because Montrez was a problem in the locker room, and they finally had to go part ways with Montrez. So the point was, LeBron benefited because once the playoffs started last year, he was flying. He was healthy. He was fresh. He was excited. He smelled blood in the bubble because he knew a lot of teams weren't going to be into it psychologically, and he believed he could keep his team together longer than other leaders could.
And you mentioned it. They had 8 games. I think LeBron played 6 or 7 of those games to get himself ready to go into the playoffs. Now, he might not have that, and so now conditioning is going to be an issue. You know, it's hard to get conditioned like there's nothing conditions you like playing the sport that you're actually playing. So playing one-on-one basketball, playing 5-on-5, that gets you in condition to actually play in the game. Riding a stationary bike does not get you in shape. You know, it keeps you loose. You see guys ride a stationary bike on the sideline during the course of the game. That keeps you loose, but that doesn't get you in shape for the game. I just don't really know how well conditioned he's going to be. And, you know, the playoffs is a whole different, you know, you go regular season and then you go, and as the rounds go up, the intensity goes up.
Okay. So this is completely different to your point, because the other teams haven't stopped. They're all trying to figure it out. The Clippers on the fly, they'll see them tonight, are trying to figure it out with a bunch of new players. Kawhi's been in and out. Paul George has mostly been in, but they haven't had Serge. Maybe they'll have him back. Who knows? Maybe tonight. But they're trying to figure it out. The Nets are still trying to figure it out as soon as James comes back.
They've only had, what, 7 games?
Okay, but still, they've had some games together. And all of a sudden, LeBron is going to have, it's more about the reps with Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. He's there now, and he's a force for better and for worse. He's a force in the paint. He goes and he camps in the paint, and if you get him the ball at the right moment, he's pretty hard to stop from scoring the basketball.
And that's the fine line, Skip. How do I give him enough touches to keep him engaged, to keep him playing hard, rebounding the basketball, challenging shots on the defensive end, but not so much that it stagnates our offense? Because like you said, Skip, we dump it down to him. We expected him to probably back up, you know, and go to the hole. So that's the fine line LeBron is trying to run. I got to give him some touches because I want to keep him engaged. I want to keep him crashing the offensive end and playing defense, but I don't want to get too much of it that it gets all the other guys out of their rhythm because we haven't had to play with a guy like that. Skip, they wasn't giving no balls to JaVale. They wasn't dumping it down to him. Get it off the rim, dunk it, or we throw you the lob. Dwight Howard, get it off the rim, or we'll throw you a lob. They weren't feeding the ball into him and hoping they make something with that.
Okay. And now Schroeder's out.
Yes.
So, and LeBron hasn't had that many reps with Schroeder. So they're going to get thrown into the playoffs. I'll knock on wood for LeBron that he gets 90% healthy, because if he's 90%, he'll have a shot. And yet, will he have a shot on his conditioning and his cohesiveness with the rest of them? I don't know, because that's going to be hard.
It is. It is, because the thing is, Skip, normally LeBron plays about the first 6 minutes of the ball game, comes out for 4, plays 2. But the thing is, when you're dealing with that ankle, Skip, the thing that you need to do is keep the blood flowing. So when you come out, Skip, guess what? That thing starting to stiffen up. If you notice, he got the band. He's still trying to keep that blood flowing. And then you go into the half, 20 minutes.
I agree. On bad ankles, the more you can run, the better. The more you can keep it moving, the better.
Trust me, I know.
Sit down, no good.
It's over.
Yep.
It's over.
It can be over because you can't, like, start icing it or it'll really just clam up.
It'd be stiff. It's stiff.
Okay, and I'm going to throw this out. As he's become more of an entertainment world baron, LeBron is savoring his cigars and his wine. And I don't know if he does it every night or not, but it gets tougher to get back in shape when that's more of your lifestyle. And I have nothing against the lifestyle, but I watched Michael Jordan at the end. It was too much. After a while, it just got him where you can't overcome it. Once he got to Washington, he never quite got back in what I would call premium condition.
Mike was on them sticks too hard. Mike doing 3 to 5 sticks and them slow burning sticks. So, man, you imagine burning them lungs, man. So Mike couldn't do it. But Skip, you know, like me, you know, Mike, he in the hyperbaric chamber. I know he in the hyperbaric chamber. As a matter of fact, I got me one.
You're saying LeBron?
Yeah, LeBron, I got to get me a hyperbaric chamber because I'm training for something.
What are you training for?
Don't worry about it. You go see the transformation. Man, I ain't run no triathlon. They tried to get me to run one time.
Yeah?
Yeah. That would be a nice sum of money,
too. It's not just run one, it's swim one.
That was the part. that was the part to go get me. I was going to be done. Man, 2 mile swim. At 200 yards, I could have got it.
Yeah.
I need to do one of them, but I can't do the 2 mile swim.
Okay. What are you training for? You don't know.
I ain't training for that. I just want to maximize my condition. Okay. I got me a hyperbaric chamber. I got me one of them infrared beds.
Really?
Oh,